Welcome to Bootstrap Businessmen, the podcast focused on developing the entrepreneur within on a shoestring budget. And I am your host, #1 best-selling fitness author, Dale L. Roberts, and I'm joined by my co-host, the Midwest best, Kevin S. Allen.
Hey, man, how we doing tonight, Dale? How you feeling?
Fantastic, feeling great, as usual, of course.
All right, man, same here. Hey, I just wanted to throw a little thing in here. Hey, everybody that's listening, please support the show by simply shopping at Amazon.com. We have a link provided in our show notes. All you got to do is bookmark that in your browser. Anytime you go to shop at Amazon, just click on that. Basically, a small percentage gets kicked back to us. Doesn't cost you any more money. That small percentage helps cover the cost of our show, and overhead. So if you want to keep hearing the awesome, great content and some of the great guests and stuff that we got coming to you, just go in, bookmark that, use that link.
Excellent. Yeah. And hey, remember, if you like the show, then show some love. Click
show
the
some
follow
love
on our site at show.bootstrapbusinessmen.com, Stitcher, or iTunes. And the best part is you won't miss out on a single episode if you're following us. And should we decide to have a special pop-up show with exclusive time-sensitive promotions, then you'll know all about it.
Which we've had what, at least 3 or 4 probably over the last few weeks here, pop-up episodes. We're giving away a lot of great books, some audio books, man, people got to follow.
That's absolutely true. All right. Excellent. Very good. I'm super excited today. One of my fellow Arizonians, if you will, is joining me. Special guest. It is certified clinical hypnotherapist and mindset expert, Kathleen Nightingale. Kathleen, welcome to Bootstrap Businessmen. I'm so happy to have you on.
Thanks, Dale. It's great to see you today. I'm happy to be here.
So I love getting connected with people in the area, of course, here in the Valley. But there's something very unique about you, and so many aspects that are super unique about you. But something that speaks to my passion is you're an award-winning author. Tell us a little bit about the book that you have written and that won awards on, and give me a little bit of background about you.
Well, my background is coaching and as you mentioned, hypnotherapy, and I'm really passionate about the mind. I've got into something called talking about using your horsepower, and we can get into that a little more later. I have horses, and I talk about your horsepower. But the book is called Lose the Diet, Transform Your Body by Connecting with Your Soul. So my belief is that and I think there's a lot of people out there that agree with me that if we really want to resolve our weight issues, we need to go deep on the inside. It's not about what's on the outside and the diet pills and the diets and all the crazy stuff we do that never work, because our subconscious mind is about 87% of our mind. So the other 13% is the conscious mind. That's where we try to diet and do all those crazy things, and we wonder why it doesn't work, because our emotions and our habits and our memories and everything is at the subconscious mind. So that 87% or horsepower is what takes over time and time again, and it's kind of like Einstein said, definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So you got to learn how to use your mind in the right way. So in my book, I really get into different tools. It's kind of a toolbox for mind-body wellness and how the mind affects the body and how the body affects the mind. That's really where I started with the work that I do, and I still work with people who struggle with their weight, and we kind of work on the inside, and then when you resolve that, then things kind of just come together on the outside without having to count calories and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely, and I couldn't agree with you anymore. Being a personal trainer, I'm probably a little bit different when it comes to my beliefs, and there's so many that feel that you got to go on a diet, or you have to do certain exercise, or you have to do a combination of both things, and I always feel that the best way to approach everything is exercise and nutrition and mind, because if you don't have a good mindset, everything else is going to fall apart.
Exactly. And certainly the exercise is great because that helps our mind. Gets those endorphins going right, and it gets the metabolism going, and then when we do that, we can enjoy the foods we love and just eat, kind of everything in moderation, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the French, right? They're still eating chocolate and cheese and whatever, but they're certainly not as obese as Americans who are sitting more, I suppose. But they're still, and they're enjoying life, and
Kathleen,
we have to enjoy life. The diets just drive us crazy. Sorry, what was that?
Oh, no, absolutely. If you could, just for our listeners, what was the name of your book again?
Lose the Diet. Subtitle is Transform Your Body by Connecting with Your Soul. And it's under Kathy Beland, which is my former name. So if you were to look on Amazon, you would search Lose the Diet, Kathy with a K, and then Beland, Balland, is what it's actually under.
Excellent. We'll see about putting a link in the description. Excellent. We'll see if we can put a link in the description so that way we can send some people towards that direction. And one of the things that actually got you and I reconnected, we connected a couple of years ago at a local seminar that you were actually running. Was awesome. We could rabbit trail towards that, but the whole thing is we got reconnected on LinkedIn, and you put together awesome posts. I really am a big fan of some of that stuff, and I just hate to gush all over you on some of this. They're very short. They're very simplistic, but they're also very powerful. How long have you been doing that? And how can somebody try to track those down?
Well, of course, Kathleen Nightingale on LinkedIn, and it's, I think, what is it, LinkedIn.in, however that works, and then Kathleen Nightingale all together. So, yeah, I don't know how long. I've been on LinkedIn for a few years, but it's in recent months I've been writing more articles and trying to really drive the point home and get through to people on what we really need to do if we want to make positive changes in our life. And I get into also talking about entrepreneurship, sales, mindset, because I'm pretty passionate about that, because I discovered as I became an entrepreneur all the mindset things that we go through. I used to be in corporate for years. I came from a finance background, and I used to analyze businesses and underwrite multi-million-dollar loans, and then I jumped into being an entrepreneur, and all of a sudden the salary's gone, and the services I'm selling are me, and then I've got to deal with fear of rejection with sales, and how do I talk to people in selling. So I've studied that as well, the whole mindset aspect of that. Some of the tools that I've used in the mind-body stuff helps with entrepreneurs because of, you really need to have balance. In fact, I worked with an entrepreneur recently who used to be an engineer and worked on these, designing these big ships for the Navy, and then she got into the care business, and a year later she was ready to quit. She's a very smart, very great woman, but she said, I just can't deal with being a business owner. I love what I do, but this is stressing me out, the sales and all this stuff. So I worked with her on her mindset in a very short period of time. In fact, that month, she said, when we started, was the best month she's ever had. Totally shifted her mindset and actually prevented her from really considering getting out of business. And now she's back to, I love what I'm doing. I realized I had to shift it in a positive way because it's the snowball effect. It's the subconscious mind. When you become negative, if you've ever seen The Secret, which talks about the law of attraction, and it may sound all kind of woo-woo, but it's true. When you focus on the negative, it just builds and gets worse. And it affects your bottom line too. So she was having better financial results as well as just feeling happier, more excited, more enthusiastic about what she was doing. So it can save a business as well. So mindset affects everything.
Absolutely. Oh, go ahead. Were you going to say something, Dale?
No, that's all you, man.
Oh. So, what I heard in there, and I'm actually in love right now. So, um, just because, and Dale knows this and stuff too. I mean, that's one of the biggest things. I constantly am working on that because, being a business owner, you wake up some days are hard. It's just reality, right? It's a tough situation. So, how do you help somebody adjust their mindset if their habits and their daily routines have habitually put them in a place of really kind of running in a circle? I mean, how do you get in and fix that?
Well, I have a toolbox, and actually I'm putting together a new Mustang Mindset program for that. It's called Rev Up Your Business Horsepower. And so I'm going to be launching that soon, but it's again using the mindset techniques of working with the subconscious mind. There's visualization techniques, affirmations, there's a lot of different tools you can use, and also understanding the mindset of sales can help you in your sales and working with clients, and understanding that sales is where you're really helping somebody else. It's not something you do to someone, it's doing something you do for someone, I should say.
Yes.
But so I'm going to get into all those things. I'm going to get into all those things in the Mustang Mindset program that I'm going to be launching soon, and that's going to be online. So I'll have all my tools on there. But I also do one-on-one coaching. Hypno is the Greek word for sleep. You have to relax first. When you're all uptight, this is just to give you some pointers. When we're really at the subconscious mind is when we're sleeping. We're totally relaxed and our mind is going off on these crazy dreams, and it's all very metaphorical. So I get into stories and metaphors, which is what our mind relates to. For example, I have a CD called Drive Your Weight Down, which is kind of a metaphor, and it's actually designed to be listened to while you drive. So it's got metaphors
really cool.
and things that the subconscious relates to it. Have you ever driven home and you pull in your driveway and you realize you don't remember driving?
Every day.
Yes.
Yeah. So you were hypnotized by your driving, It's like your mind's getting you there. So we're already in an altered state, so we might as well throw out some positive affirmations. The subconscious mind likes now. It likes being in the now. It only gets now. So if you say to yourself, I'm going to be rich next year, I'm going to be whatever it is you want, it's not going to happen. You might know, Dale, and I think there's a chain of them. There's a restaurant called Joe's Crab Shack.
Yes. Yep.
In Tempe. And there's a sign that says free crab tomorrow. Which means, when is the crab, right? When is this free crab? Like, never. So that's how your mind works. So you want to keep that in mind. If you're using affirmations, when you're visualizing, when you're focusing on things, you want to focus on, even though it may sound crazy, well, I don't have that now, but say it to yourself. I am healthy, wealthy, whatever it is. I am at my ideal weight. So you want to be in the now. And you become what you focus on. So if you're focusing on the negative, that's what you're going to get. If you focus on more expenses or just focus on your expenses, you'll get more expenses. So focus on your income or whatever it is you're trying to achieve. So the subconscious is visual. The subconscious is in the now. So
that's such a really brilliant idea to do something like on CD that someone can listen to in their car. How'd you come up with the concept? That's very ingenious.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we hypnotherapists will use that analogy of, because people think, oh, I'm going to be hypnotized, like it's some weird thing. Well, we go in and out of these states all day long. You're watching television and you zone out. You're being hypnotized by Donald Trump or whoever. Think about the stuff you're absorbing for a minute. But when you're relaxed is when you're communicating more with your subconscious mind than when you're all, uptight. And the conscious mind's very analytical. That's why counting calories is, not necessarily effective. So I just thought, well, we're always talking about being in an altered state when we drive. So, and I personally enjoy listening to, positive things while I'm driving. I drive a lot around the state to do different things and see clients, so I like to listen to inspirational things in the car, so I thought we might as well listen to something that can help us lose weight. And I also have Drive Your Success
Beautiful.
Up, so there's Drive Your Weight Down and Drive Your Success Up.
Brilliant.
A little fun there.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really just it's ingenious. You found something, because I love listening to books on tape. I love to listen to interviews and things like that, as opposed to just hearing the same old pop song I've heard 50,000 times already. It also helps me if I get stuck in traffic, like in a bumper-to-bumper type traffic. If I've got an audiobook going on or something like this, it really helps kind of loosen me up. I feel like, okay, I'm not wasting my time. I'm actually learning something as I go along or bettering myself. So, brilliant. How does someone get a hold of this content? Do you have that on your website?
CD Baby, it's on CD Baby, but I normally, when I work with clients, I normally give them, as part of my package, I give them some CDs and my book.
Brilliant.
So I've kind of been using it as bonus tools for working with me. And I throw in some positive suggestions. I figure if you're stressed out in traffic, let's throw in some suggestions for letting go of that stress. So.
Yeah, it sounds like something I definitely need every now and then, because I know Kelly usually kind of gets on me where she's like, calm down, it's okay. And I'm like, I'm not a road rage type person, but every now and then I probably get a little unnerved.
Hypnosis for road rage. Anyway, or preventing road rage.
Yes. So you wouldn't recommend like heavy metal while you're driving in bumper-to-bumper traffic?
If it makes you feel good, that's fine. My husband likes Black Sabbath, so.
Oh, all right.
Really? I couldn't see him that way.
And he's a psychotherapist.
Wow. So that's really cool. What I'd like to do is let's see if we can kind of redirect towards something that really just intrigued me the most, and why I really wanted to bring you on the show, which is the entrepreneur mindset. We started to kind of go in towards that direction. You were sharing a little bit of a testimonial. I'd love to hear a little bit more about this.
Well, as I said, because I experienced it myself, and I went through some tough mindset times of my own with anxiety over the money mindset. Even though I made, good money in corporate, it was different now that it was me and I'm having to sell myself out there. Sell myself? You get what I'm saying. My services. And I thought, wait a minute. And a lot of the business coaches out there, every time I hear, the business coaches, they talk about, and don't forget, the mindset is a key component, although they're not necessarily, usually they're talking about marketing techniques because that's their specialty, and they're not really necessarily mindset experts.
Right.
But I've got those tools that I can really help people with their mindset. So, and here's the other thing, is I think I admire the entrepreneurs because I know what it's like. It's, taking risks, and especially when you've been in the corporate job for a long time and now you're taking that swan dive into the abyss of I'm going to change the world now, and I really want to help people live their purpose. Maybe that sounds cliche, but think of if there are people out there, and I'm sure there's many people who maybe just be doing a job just for the money, but they dream of doing something else, and maybe they've got a true talent where they can really help people in other ways, but maybe they're afraid to get out there and do it, and to give it a shot. So I want to help those people to get out there and survive and keep their head on somewhat at least, and find joy in what they're doing and not get all stressed out over all the business aspects of being an entrepreneur. Does that make sense?
Sure.
I think there's a big shift too in the world of, I was reading recently about there's going to be a lot of people leaving the workforce, and they are leaving the workforce trying to find more meaning in what they're doing besides something that's not giving them the joy and the purpose that they're looking for.
Sure.
So I want to help those people.
So you had said earlier that basically our mind's the subconscious is 87% of our mind, correct?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Okay, I was just hoping I caught the numbers correctly. So, and the subconscious is now. As an entrepreneur, and you know how it goes, you start rabbit trailing and you start thinking on tomorrow, next week, the month after, a product launch, this or that. I mean, how do you help people kind of dial that in to today and keep that focus?
Right. Well, I think we do need to have goals, short-term and long-term goals. The now part is really as our self-talk. The self-talk of, well, I will be whatever, financially successful or whatever it is you're wanting. If you're doing self-talk, you want that to be in the now. The goals are okay. A book I highly recommend. Are you familiar with Think and Grow Rich?
Oh, it's a brilliant book. That's one of our favorites, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, what does Napoleon Hill talk about that? And for people who don't know, that was published in 1937, after Napoleon Hill spent 20 plus years interviewing the over 500 successful entrepreneurs of the day. People like Charles Schwab and Henry Ford and Alexander Graham Bell. It's a who's who. And it was Andrew Carnegie that kind of set him on that path. And in the book, he talks about what? The subconscious mind.
Yeah.
And he talks about these things that I'm talking about. So it's a good book to refer to. He talks about the mastermind, and I've got something called the Mustang Mastermind that's part of my Mustang mindset. That when we're, the power of the group, we have a common goal. So entrepreneurs, it's important to have that kind of support and that energy. Two heads are better than one. You can bounce ideas off each other and hopefully get to where you want to go more quickly in the group. So that the book Think and Grow Rich is a great tool, I think, that talks about those things and how to think, and auto-suggestion he talks about. So I'm talking about in the present tense, but certainly we can have goals, and I think he talks about having hopefully fairly specific goals, because the mind usually likes things to be pretty specific on what it is you're targeting.
Yeah, I think it's incredible that that long ago, if you think about it, and it's really just starting to scratch the surface even today, but that long ago that he was talking about stuff that people are really delving into today. So I mean, this is a wonderful read. So I guess what I want to know is how do you help an entrepreneur that is kind of ADHD focus on a task list, or keep focus on now, and not feeling bad if they don't complete something, say in their daily list, or how do they keep their mind positive even if they don't accomplish everything they said they were going to accomplish in that moment?
Yeah, beating yourself up is the wrong thing to do, of course.
Right.
And you gotta take time to breathe. And I just saw some post, I don't know if it was on LinkedIn, but it was all about morning habits of people like Tony Robbins and Richard Branson. Richard Branson, I don't think is killing him hours a day. There's not 40 hours a day. There's 24 hours a day or whatever. He's out on Necker Island enjoying himself somewhat. So you got to have balance, and that's why that's part of my program. So take time to breathe and regroup every day, and don't beat yourself up, and do the best to focus, to make a list and prioritize, and try to stay positive, because it's just going to snowball, and the stress is going to build, and the anxiety is going to build, and those emotions just keep going and get worse. Our emotions are at the subconscious level, so we want to be positive as much as possible.
Sure.
What inspires you, what relaxes you, and what inspires you, and what keeps balance in your life so that you're not just running yourself ragged all the time and burning out. And I think when we start to burn out, then we can block that success because our mind's like, whoa, I can't take anymore.
Sure.
So,
It's incredible. You're bringing up some stuff that it kind of hits home with me because sometimes I tend to be I love to just work. It's just one of my favorite things. I like to work on the things that I do because it's fun for me. But every now and then I do hit that point to where I don't think I'm balancing things properly. So what would be your recommendation to say me where I'm falling a little bit out of balance? How do I know how to get things back in order?
well, when I work with clients, I look at different aspects of their life and what's missing. And I would say, are you spending time with the spouse, or are you spending time with your friends and family? Where, if you rate that on a scale of 1 to 10 on those other areas of your life, is it a 2? And if it's a 2, then that's not very good. It's time to take a look at, spending a little time with a spouse, going for a walk. Sometimes I've listened to Abraham Hicks stuff as well, which is part of the law of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks about you've got to, pet your cat and dangle your feet in the stream or whatever it is that makes you feel good so that you can take that little meditation time. And sometimes we actually attract thoughts to us. The mind, in other words, if we're working too hard and we're getting burned out, then our mind doesn't function very well. It's kind of like, how it is, Dale, when people say, I don't have time to exercise. Well, if you exercise, you're going to sleep deeper, right? Aren't you going to sleep deeper?
Yeah.
So then that gives you time to exercise. So I guess if you rest your mind and find some balance, then you might actually get more ideas that will come to you that you might not be getting when you're working too hard.
Got you. So there's sometimes what I've discovered is, every now and then some people will take, say, liberties on another direction. So say, for instance, finding that balance doesn't necessarily mean, of course, putting too much over, say, towards the leisure end of things. You're saying some people. I'm sorry. I was going to ask.
Some people are lazy. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there we go. Yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. Every now and then. So, what would be your advice to the people that are towards that other end of the spectrum?
And you think they're taking too much time off and not focusing enough?
Yeah.
Are they really passionate about? Are they passionate about what they're doing? Because I think those of us who are passionate about what we're doing can be very driven. Isn't that true?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because again, the emotions are at the subconscious. So usually that's why I believe some people argue that. But what are you passionate about? Do you love what you do? If it feels good. I mean, I keep hearing that. True entrepreneurs or business owners that are really successful would rather work in their business than take a vacation.
Sure.
But by vacation, I mean go away somewhere because they enjoy what they do so much that they can't wait to get back to the office and dive in again. And it's not work,
It's all play.
It's something they really enjoy.
Yeah, see, that's kind of the frustrating, maybe weird situation that I'm in because I love what I do, and even if I go on vacation, I end up doing it while I'm on vacation. So, yeah, no.
Well, as long as you're not feeling burned out, that's okay. How do you feel? That's the question.
No, I feel great.
If you feel okay and you feel energized, then... What was that?
Oh, I said I feel great. It's a weird situation, but that was one of the things, like you say, you focus on the goals, or for the entrepreneur, telling yourself, I want to be this, this is what I want, this is what I want to have, and acting like it's already happened, and then sooner or later it does, and that's kind of the situation where I'm at. But, how do you I guess if somebody like Dale kind of tapping off the deals, if somebody's excessively, we'll just call it what it is, lazy, but yet they want more out of their life, how do you get them moving? How do you help their mindset to even get off the couch, and attempt a better life?
Are they, I guess I'd have to dig a little deeper into what's going on. Is it because they're depressed? If they're depressed, then I would look at, resolving what that is. Is there something in their mind from the past or whatever's going on in their life that's creating a depression where they can't function? Or, have they not found their passion? I don't know. I'd have to talk to the individual and find out what's going on there. But yeah, we have therapy for people if they are depressed and helping them.
Very cool.
It's a biological issue. Is it a biological issue that needs other help?
This is very interesting. So it's never just a one-size-fits-all whenever you're working with some of your clients.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be curious to know what the quote laziness, what that means, or do they just love life and they're taking a break? I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of the people, and here's just a situation. Not saying that I know anybody like this. They say they work at corporate or they have a 9-to-5, whatever they're doing, right? That takes them out of their house and away from what they, quote unquote, keep saying that they want to do. But then they find all these excuses saying they don't have time, but their butt is parked on the couch 3 to 4 hours a night. I guess that's the level of laziness, I guess, that I'm referring to. People say they want something different or complain that they don't have time to get there, but then they park their butt on the couch for 4 hours a night. How do you adjust that to get them moving?
I would personally, one-on-one, though, I would look at what their psychological block is. Is there something they're afraid of? Are they afraid of success? Are they afraid of failure? Are they afraid of rejection? What's the subconscious block there?
So you definitely have to dig pretty deep into that. Okay.
There's tools that can, but, I feel like, well, as we say in hypnotherapy, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, meaning that we want somebody who wants to change, and if they're content that way, then I don't know if we can change them,
So it's not like you'll be able to.
Somebody.
You're not going to be able to solve everybody's problems then sometimes.
No, I want people who want to change personally and work with them, not against them.
Yeah, no sense pushing a rope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think they have to want to.
Yeah, you really do have to want it, and I found so many times when I was working as a personal trainer, some people would invest in my services, and they thought I would just wave a magic wand, and all of a sudden they're in the greatest shape of their life. And I always just kind of had to tell them, look, you got to do the work, you got to want it. You actually can't just come and tell me that you want to lose 30 pounds. You have to work for it. So that's really cool. When you and I were talking a few weeks ago, actually a couple weeks ago, I think, I was over at your office. I don't know if you're able to share. There were some situations where you were talking. Sometimes there are deep-seated issues that can create larger problems later in life. Are you able to expand on that at all for me?
Yeah, one-on-one, I've delved into things from the past, things from the childhood, something that somebody said. We're born at the subconscious level of the mind, and so this is why kids are emotional, they're imaginative, we absorb a lot, right? We're learning a lot, and a little later on we develop the conscious mind, and then stuff gets buried. And I find through relaxation techniques and getting the subconscious level, and people remember, I can help them to kind of tap into what that is that's blocking them, and they'll remember that so-and-so said something, and when I was 9, and that just really hurt my feelings, and it's been stuck there all this time. You know, I'd worked with somebody who couldn't get out and network, for example. Working with them one-on-one, found out that somebody, when they were 8 years old, a relative said, I really don't want her here in this house. And she's like, I wasn't even thinking about that. But it just stuck in her head, you know, and so we looked at it, we resolved it. It was something that sometimes as kids we really take things to heart, you know, and somebody makes fun of us, and it's just some silly kid, and it's meaningless, really. And as an adult, now we can look at it and go, oh, okay, you know, I understand what happened there, and that was just a silly situation. But we need to figure out what that is. We need to kind of get to what that trigger was. And then all of a sudden, for example, this individual was able then to get out and network when they really realized this one memory was kind of just stuck in the back of their head.
Wow.
I should say in the subconscious mind.
Wow.
And, you know, for like 40 years, it's been a problem. And now it's not a problem anymore. So that's where I love my work is in this article I wrote that you commented on, Dale, on LinkedIn was weight loss is an inside job. And sometimes when I work with people, I feel like the Sherlock Holmes of the mind, because that's what I do. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Why are they stuck? Why are they blocked? And then, you know, get into it. You can spend a lot of years in therapy, not talking against some of the counselors out there, but
Yeah.
you know, the techniques that I work with and the tools with working with the subconscious mind can help to get to that core issue fairly quickly, normally. And, you know, if somebody is willing, and then we can resolve that. And I said at the end of that article that I wrote, that weight loss is an inside job, I said I applaud people, you know, who take the step to for personal growth. And by the way, being an entrepreneur is also an opportunity for personal growth, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Because we have to, a lot of times, it really is. It's like, you know, now we've got to grow ourselves, you know, and as a coach, we have to feel good about ourselves, and we have to work on our own self-esteem, and we're working on ourselves by doing this work.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some challenges that I mean, you're so upbeat and you're so positive. What are some challenges that you run into? Because I don't imagine you're impervious to all stressors.
Right. And sometimes, I guess, I'm a little empathic, and not to get all woo-woo, but I think where part of my skill is I kind of sense other people's emotions, and again, the emotions at the subconscious level, and I can kind of feel what they're feeling, and I have to kind of protect myself from I can start to cry along with somebody else, you know. So that can be a little draining too. So I have to kind of protect myself from absorbing too much of that. My husband, like I said, does psychotherapy. He's like, I've been dealing with all this emotional stuff. So I've got horses. I can go talk to them. I have a sign that says, it's got a horse on it, you know, and it says, all I pay my psychiatrist is the cost of feed and hay, and he'll listen to me all day.
Nice. Good
So I can go talk to a horse, and they look at me like, yeah, right in the eye, you know. Okay, where's my hay? Whatever. Stand here and talk. I don't care.
How many horses do you have?
Jump on my back. Whatever you got to do.
How many horses do you have, Kathleen?
I always say 4 1/3.
4 1/3. How is that possible?
Well, there's a thoroughbred. She's big. She's about 17 hands, you know, retired racehorse. And there's a Morgan horse, and I love her. She talks a lot like my other Morgan used to. There's 2 Mustangs, who I've named my Mustang mindset after. And because, by the way, riders know that your mind affects your horse. They literally like pick up on your emotions. Like if you're feeling frightened, that can affect your ride.
Really?
So our mindset affects our business and our life. And they found that like horse and human heart can actually synchronize, like the heart rate can actually synchronize. And this is one reason why horse therapy is very good, by the way, and I've used horse therapy as well. But anyway, I also have a miniature Palomino, so that's my one-third horse. So for people who are short of stature or in a wheelchair or something, she's more at their level. But
Nice.
she thinks she's a big horse. The lead mare, who's the Mustang, she looks at the others and goes, okay, move over there, and they'll move. And she looks at the little one, and the little one's like, make my day. Of course, they taught her how to do some roundhouse kicks, so she kicked the thoroughbred in the chest once and gave her a big hematoma. Thoroughbred's like way up there. And the thoroughbred's like, whoa, I'm scared. So,
wow.
Of course, the thoroughbred's afraid of cows. So that tells you something.
Nice.
So,
This
anyway.
is really cool. How long have you been handling horses now? I mean, have you been doing this your whole life? Is this something relatively new for you?
No, a few years. My husband's had horses most of his life, so he kind of got me into it, and I was like, oh, great, horses. So, because we already had dogs. I've got 3 dogs. I've got chickens.
Oh, my goodness.
Chicken soup. Nice.
Fresh eggs, Hank is the rooster. We had Danny Partridge was our rooster. He passed away recently. Now we have a new rooster named Hank. Thinks he's really tough stuff. So that's life on the Nightingale Ranch.
Very, very cool. So you mentioned something really briefly about using horses for kind of like pet therapy and such. Can you expand on that a little bit? Because I know this is something that I had utilized in the assisted living community I'd worked at.
Well, my husband's also specialized in dementia. As you know, he did the only study in the world on using hypnotherapy with dementia, which had really amazing results, and we train therapists in that as well. But we've also used, for example, we had a client with Alzheimer's disease, young onset in her 50s, who used to have horses, who doesn't have horses anymore because she's got Alzheimer's. But she was able to come over and, groom the horse, and they're non-judgmental. It's all about body language. Even if somebody can't communicate, it doesn't matter, right? Verbally, right? Body language is most of our communication anyway. So, there's autism and addiction, and they even, in the prison in Arizona, they have a Mustang program where inmates are working with training horses. So they're really great animals to help with therapy. They're just therapeutic in many ways.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going for a walk with my wife the other day, and I don't know what it is. Animals in general, for some reason, just lift my energy up. I feel excited. I feel like a kid again from every now and then. We went past a couple of horses, and I was just like, oh, wow. And I just felt like a little kid. Here I am, 40-year-old man excited about seeing horses up close. So what do you think what exactly is the connection? Why is it that that people become vibrant when they're around other animals?
Well, I think it's again the non-judgmental nature of the animals. I like my dogs. They're always happy to see me. They're always in a good mood. They don't criticize. You can tell them your troubles, and they can really lift your spirits, put you in that positive mood. If you've ever watched The Secret, I think there's a scene where he talks about your animals can help shift your mindset in a positive way, because they do funny things. How many of us, my gosh, these funny, I've got a corgi who does all sorts of crazy things, and there's these corgi videos that have like millions of views, because it just really kind of makes people feel good and laugh, and it's a stress reliever, which is good for our mind and our body, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't agree with you more. I can't tell you sometimes it really all it takes is just me watching a cute cat video. and like instantly, it just changes my mood. For some reason, cute cat videos. I am a sucker for that. In fact, if you took everything away from me, you can take away my joy of watching wrestling or reading, but if you just gave me cat videos, I'd be forever happy.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have a while I'm thinking about another stress relieving tip. If you go to KathleenNightingale.com, that's Kathleen again with a K. Nightingale is NIGHTINGALE.com. If you sign up there, there's a free guided meditation audio, kind of a taste of hypnotherapy, but it's helping to reduce stress, helping you to breathe, and helping with self-esteem also as well. It takes you up a nice mountain path, kind of metaphorical for reaching your goal. So I wanted to mention that before I forget, KathleenNightingale.com, and you can get listen to a free audio to help you to de-stress and shift your mindset in a positive way.
And actually, if everybody is listening and who all is listening tonight, get it. Trust me, I have it. Listen, I'm being honest. I actually listen to it maybe 2 to 3 nights a week. I don't have trouble falling asleep because I'm stressed out. I have trouble shutting my brain off. So I have to do something because I'll wake up at 2 in the morning and I've got 15 ideas. So I listen to that, and it honestly has helped me settle in and get a few nights good sleep. So I appreciate it. It works.
It doesn't help that your business partner is an instigator. So here, Kathleen, full disclosure, I'll get over on him. And see, the thing is, since we're separated, he's in Ohio and we're in Arizona. There's a few hours difference. So I'll send him a message. He'll go, hey, wait till you check out this and blah, blah, blah. So, of course, he's like lit up. He kind of loosen up. But that's really awesome. I hope that everybody does take you up on that. That's KathleenNightingale.com. And, of course, that actually will be inside the link in the description below the video. And as well, if you're listening onto the podcast, that will be also inside the link in the description with the podcast itself. So fantastic. That's really, free stuff. You can't beat that with a stick.
And it works. Kathleen, where are some other areas? Is that the only place that people can contact you, or?
Well, MustangMindset.com is a little more along the business side. I've got a little freebie on there on 12 steps when you're starting your business. I have a business background, so that's all just something download they can get there. But the audio is on KathleenNightingale.com. Twitter is Mustang Mindset. Facebook is Guiding You with a U. Anyway.
Fantastic. We're getting towards that wrap-up point, and I don't want to stop prematurely because there is a couple of things I want to kind of touch on just real briefly. We actually kind of were over talking a little bit about rev up your business. Rev up your business horsepower is what you were referring to. Give us a synopsis again about that. And of course, is there a specific launch date or any way that someone can maybe sign up ahead of time to get further information about that?
Well, if you subscribe to the audio or on either KathleenNightingale.com or MustangMindset.com, you'll be on my list. So I'll talk about it there. I'm also I'm doing some free talks in that area talking about revving up your business horsepower. So I'm also a professional speaker. So if you're looking for, somebody to speak at your business group, I can come and do that as well. So I do speak on the topic, and then, people get on my list that way, and then I'll be launching that from some of the talks I'm doing. I'm going to be speaking through the National Association of Women Business Owners in June. I've got a couple talks there to start off with. That'll be in Scottsdale and Desert Ridge and Phoenix. So I'm going to be there if they want to come out and see me. Check out the NAWBO website, National Association of Women Business Owners. And again, if anybody's looking for a speaker, I can come and talk about that. But, as I said, get on my list and I'll keep you up to date.
Fantastic.
And check out my...
Go ahead.
Like my Facebook page, as I said, Guiding You is the Facebook page with a U.
Excellent. Fantastic. I want to make sure we get that into our description. So now that we're starting to wrap up and such, is there any last words that you would like to share with the audience? Anything additional that you would like to say as far as offering advice towards any kind of aspiring entrepreneurs or even those ones that are, really grinding it right now?
Oh, I like the word believe, and staying focused and believing and finding that mastermind that can help you with some support to get to where you need to go. And hopefully don't give up on your dream. I think you get there if you stay with it and not give up and try to stay positive. And I can help you with that.
Excellent, fantastic. And so the contact points again are going to be KathleenNightingale.com and MustangMindset.com. And of course, you can get the free audio over at Kathleen Nightingale. And then you said there was a 12-step business program over on...
No, it was just kind of if you're starting a business, and it was kind of like advice on 12 steps to start your business. And it's more like, registering your domain, checking to make sure it's not trademarked, some business suggestions like that, because I have the business background as well.
Fantastic.
And I'm a little bit of a serialpreneur myself.
Excellent, good. So somebody will be in really good hands if they get in touch with you. So awesome, very good, Kathleen. I can't tell you enough how much, Kevin and I really appreciate you taking some time out of your night to spend with us. And once when you get ready to go launch that course, let us know, because we would like to share that with our audience, because I'm sure that they will be chomping at the bit to learn just a little bit more about it.
Great. Thank you, Dale and Kevin. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It was great to see you.
Thank you for tuning in. And folks, Kathleen, stay right there. Folks, I really appreciate you tuning in tonight. If you're listening in live or if you're listening over on our podcast, your support means the world to us. Please make sure that you take just a little bit of time out of your day, visit those links, see what more Kathleen has to offer, because I'm going to tell you, it will change not only your business, but it could change your life. So Whatever you're doing, Kevin and I really appreciate it. Kevin, we're going to call it a night, right?
All right. Good night, everybody.
Just a reminder, you can support the show by simply shopping at Amazon through the link in the show description. Every time you make a purchase through the provided link, a small percentage of sales goes back to support our show and cover overhead costs. And there's no additional cost to you, and it greatly helps us out. Simply go to the link, bookmark it in your browser, and do your shopping on Amazon at no extra cost to you while you support your two favorite podcast personalities, Bootstrap Businessmen.
Absolutely, Dale. And also, everybody, just as a reminder, you can follow us at Stitcher.com. Just type in Bootstrap Businessmen. It's going to, pull up all of our shows and episodes so you can listen to us there. Go to SoundCloud.com. Type in Bootstrap Businessmen. iTunes.com. And type in Bootstrap Businessmen. And you can follow us. You can download the podcast on your phone if you have an iPhone. Stitcher and SoundCloud both have an app that you can put on your phone so you never miss an episode.